Today, we're going to talk about mise en place, or putting everything in its place. Mise en place is a French cooking technique, and it means everything in its place. And what that refers to is getting all of your ingredients lined up, all of your gear assembled, so that when you turn on that fire and start cooking, you have everything you need right at arm's reach. The starting place should always be reading through your recipe, or if you're making something up, writing down everything you're gonna need to make your recipe. So, a lot of times in recipes or cookbooks, you'll have a long list of ingredients, like this one does, where you have all the ingredients on this side and then the description and the instructions here. What some cookbooks do, they're not all created equal, by the way, is they will hide gear, techniques, or ingredients in the recipe itself. So you'll be going along and then all of a sudden you realize that those almonds were supposed to be blanched, or that, those 4 onions were supposed to be minced, and they aren't. So it's really important to read all the way through your recipe, read through your ingredients, make sure you know exactly what you need, and then start. So now that you've read through your recipe, you've read through the ingredients, you know exactly what you need, start pulling it all out. So you want to pull out all of your ingredients, all of your pots and pans, your knives, your measuring cups, spoons, anything you're going to need to cook this meal. So a really important tool I find for mise en place and getting ready for cooking is little bowls and prep bowls. So here I have all kinds of different sizes of bowls to help me get all of my ingredients ready to go. So I have all of these bowls. I have another nice, lots of metal prep bowls as well. These are all super useful and important. I also have my measuring spoons, measuring cups, and all of my ingredients here laid out for me. I don't have any really special equipment that I need for this particular recipe. We're just doing a nice roasted cauliflower with a curry glaze on it. I don't need a lot of special equipment for this particular recipe because I'm just doing a nice roasted cauliflower with a curry rub on it. So it's gonna be pretty simple today. So the first thing I'm gonna do is measure out some of my spices that I'm making for this particular dish. Like I said, I'm doing like a sort of curry-inspired cauliflower. So I'm gonna measure out some of my spices. And I'm not working with a recipe today, I'm just kind of winging it. So that does not mean that I don't get to mise en place though. This will help me figure out along the way as I go if I'm missing anything, if I need extra stuff. I'll have all of it laid out for me so that when I start cooking, it's all good to go. This is important for recipe building too. If you want to create recipes or develop recipes, this really helps a lot because then you'll know exactly all the ingredients you have, you can measure them out and record it, and then you can make it again. So my spices are ready to go, and now I'm gonna make a nice relish to go on top of my cauliflower after it's roasted. I find that a little bit of something fresh on top of something that's like deep and roasty is really nice. So I'm gonna use the mint, my cilantro, some ginger, some oil, and I'm gonna mix that all together. So I'm gonna prep my ingredients by putting them all together in this little bowl here. Give up the ghost yet. Okay, so now we're gonna use our mincing technique. So another thing that's really cool about mise en place is that it allows me to clean as I cook, which is something my mom always told me to do when I was young and I was learning how to cook, which I've often struggled with. But mise en place allows me to do that because as I complete and finish with one ingredient, I can take it, put it away, and clear my space, like I'm doing with this ginger. I'm done with the ginger, so I'm gonna take it and put it away. So another part of mise en place is prepping your veggies. So if I were making cauliflower steaks, I'd be cutting this into big slices. If I were ricing it, I'd be getting out whatever I'm gonna use to rice it. so on and so forth. So that is a big part of mise en place as well, is you want to get everything ready to go. So in this situation, I'm going to be roasting this cauliflower, so I'm just going to be trimming off the leaves and pulling the florets off. Super easy. Okay, so we got our cauliflower ready to go. Once again, like I said, mise en place allows me to clean my space as I go, so I can clean up after the cauliflower mess that I made and just kind of like get my space ready for the next thing. Okay, so now I've got my relish ingredients mostly prepped. I got my spice rub prepped. I've prepped my cauliflower. They're good to go. Now I'm gonna prep some more of my wet ingredients. So I'm gonna use an oil in my relish. So I'm gonna grab my oil and start measuring that out. Got a 1/4 cup of oil. It's gonna go in there. And there we go. Little relish. The other thing I'm going to need a lot of is salt. And one of the things I like to do in my kitchen and for mise en place in general is to pour the salt out into a little bowl so that it's easily accessible. This is going to make it way easier to measure out like a teaspoon, a half a teaspoon, or just pinches of salt as I go. So I always keep one of these on my work area for me so that I can cook. So my oven is preheated to 425. This is important part of mise en place because some ovens take up to 10, 15, 20 minutes to heat all the way up. So you wanna make sure you do that before you have your stuff ready to go into the oven so that you have a nice hot oven to work with. Like I said, this is a pretty simple recipe. So this is the special equipment that I needed for this, just a cookie sheet or baking sheet for my cauliflower. So I've got my veggies washed and prepped. I've got my relish ingredients measured out. All I need to do is mix it, taste it, make sure it's right. I got my spice blend all ready to go. I got my gear out, my cookie sheet. So I pretty much am prepped and ready to go. I've been able to put the things away that I no longer need back into the pantry so that once the food is ready to go and it's in the oven, I can take that time to clean the rest of my kitchen. And then when the food is ready, I get to sit down and eat in a nice, clean kitchen and enjoy my meal and relax.